Good afternoon, YouTube. Welcome to Ferret Face Fail Productions. So today we're going to be looking at my Honda VFR 800 from 2002. So some of you have probably seen this in the background of some of my videos. I picked it up, I think in, November, October of last year, and it's just been kind of sitting. Picked it up as both project, and it's going to be one of our first street bike rentals. It will be our first street bike rental. But this is a bike that's near and dear to my heart. I love the VFRs. They combine really good power with functionality, as well as just being a very comfortable, fast bike to ride. You sit a lot more upright than you do a crotch rocket, and I find being on one of these, I've done thousands of miles on a 98 VFR. Really fell in love with the bike, so had to pick up another one. Sometimes owning a business, you got to mix your own interests with what you like. And I think as a cheap rental, this bike will do very well. Now, it's important to note that these bikes are pretty old. I could not get a 98. The 5th gen VFR was my favorites, and we can't rent those. They're too old. So I decided to go with the 6th gen, and I didn't own a 6th gen. So these are a little bit different. They have VTEC, which quickly explained on the motorcycle, one of the few bikes that have them. Doesn't work like a car's VTEC from Honda. Basically, this bike operates on 2 valves per cylinder while it's under 7,000 RPM. When you hit 7,000 RPM, the rest of the valves all open up, and you get a little bit of a VTEC power boost, kind of, sort of. Looking at dyno graphs, it's kind of a false little kick, but you definitely feel it. It's definitely noticeable. The VTEC was more or less done on these bikes to meet California's emission standards in 2008. Now, as you can see right away, there's some cosmetic damage to this bike, and I absolutely cannot stand the stickers that this guy put on this bike. This was an older gentleman that said he basically dropped it in the driveway, couldn't handle the weight of it, hit some sand or whatever. None of the radiators or anything underneath looked broken. I looked it over pretty well when I bought it. So there's some damage that we're going to be basically replacing, like that side cover. All of the plastics are going to get renewed with new plastics, injection molded stuff that's pretty good quality. Sadly, OEM plastics don't really exist, but AccuMarts is who I'm going with, and they've promised me their fairings and stuff fit pretty well, and from the community, seems like they do fit pretty well. So we'll just be, that paint's going to be matching my original tank. We're going to clean everything up, and it should look pretty awesome. If it doesn't, you guys will be the first to know. These are pretty good. I just got done riding this bike for the day. Rode it to work, about 50 miles round trip to work, so really fun bike. It's not, the VFRs are not the most powerful. I believe it's a 781cc engine that makes, I think, 106 or 107 horsepower. So it's not quite liter bike powerful, but it really combines the best of both worlds. A lot of times I've always hated inline fours, like my CB600 I had, because they make no torque down low. You're constantly revving, slipping. Traffic really sucks with those bikes, in my opinion. So something like my SV650 I liked way more, even though it had less power. But this bike kind of combines torque and horsepower all in a single place, as well as just when you're doing trips on these bikes. God, they're comfortable, they're nice. This guy had a Sargent seat on it, so that'll be pretty good. Same seat that I had on mine. But as a street bike rental, I'm a huge fan of offering something that's relatively inexpensive to customers, that's going to be taken care of. I've got some maintenance items we're going to be doing on the bike. Of course, oil change, air filter, all plastics. We're going to be doing the cam chain tensioners on this. Trying to think, probably do brake bleeds just to refresh that, coolant, all that stuff. It'll be as new as you can get it, more or less. We'll probably look at doing suspension things down the line as far as just making sure basic maintenance is done. But beyond that, I'm very, very happy with this bike. Riding it is just like I remember with my other VFR, maybe a little bit heavier, and very planted, very comfortable. Bumps in the road don't upset you. The bike handles very well. Got to be a little bit more positive with the leans and your throttle inputs, simply because it is a bigger, heavier bike. My SV650 was, you thought about going a direction, it was going a direction. This is not quite that, but as far as comfort goes, this is a far more comfortable bike. Well, guys, let me know what you think of the Honda VFR 800. Have you ever owned one? Which generation did you own? Did you really like them? Let me know what other rentals you'd like to see. In fact, I would really love to get the last generation VFR, I guess the 2014 model. I know they didn't sell real well compared to other bikes, but in my opinion, this really fills a kind of a niche gap that isn't filled anymore. We're stuck with really big, uncomfortable crotch rockets or underpowered, smaller bikes like the SV650. I don't know, underpowered subjective. I always thought my SV had plenty of power. But this one, she's going to be looking brand new. I'm going to be doing videos on some of the maintenance. I know the cam chain tensioners are probably a good one to do. People like to see kind of these get redone, as well as how well do the aftermarket plastics really fit. We're going to be going through that whole entire thing. I think that'll be cool because I know for me, there's not a lot of information on aftermarket kits fitting these bikes on YouTube, so we'll go through that, and then how well AccuMarts has taken care of me, which they are based out of technically Texas, although I think everything's still imported from China. New headlights, or I'm probably just going to polish these headlights. I definitely had some sun time. Important to remember that it's a 20-year-old bike, and I think for its age, it's held up pretty well. These engines are very robust. There was a few minor electrical issues that they had with these bikes that I'll probably address at the same time. But as far as customers go, we take care of them. I'll maintain the bike as 100% as I can. When it's not being rented, I will be saving some gas by riding this to work. And that'll be pretty awesome because my truck gets 16 miles to the gallon. Well, thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to comment below and let me know what bikes you guys would like to see us renting here locally or what you would think would do well. We do dirt bikes currently, do lots of dirt bikes. This isn't even all of them, so we're going to be getting even more of those. So far, we've had really good luck renting. The riding community is pretty awesome. People generally take care of our bikes. Insurance, of course, always has our backs. But yeah, thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next one. Ferret Face out.